folks, this is Ringo's Sky. You're probably noticing that I am dripped out in my brand new Dire Wasp armor I unlocked from the most recent No Man's Sky expedition, The Swarm. In my opinion, No Man's Sky, The Swarm is the best expedition we have had in years, yet the community's reception on it has been mixed. Most people lost faith in this expedition once the community milestone started taking forever to complete, but personally, that didn't ruin the expedition at all for me. So today, I thought I would go over all 3 milestones in order to try and convince you that this expedition was actually something special. So without further ado, let's get started. Part 1, Phase 1. This expedition started off with a pretty memorable personality quiz to determine what team you are on. In this personality quiz, it is revealed that the traveler soul is fragmented and that everyone in this expedition will be split into 3 teams, which is decided by the personality quest. At least they told us it was decided by the personality quest, but the numbers of people on each team seemed oddly even, so a lot of people, including me, wonder if our answers actually had any impact on what team we got. Traveler soul being fragmented is a very interesting conflict for the story of this expedition that was mainly just an excuse for people being split into teams. I don't really see much lore impact with that, especially since, spoilers, it got rebuilt after the expedition. Anyways, I got Royal, and now that the personality quiz was done, I prepared to proceed on with the expedition. After waiting a few more seconds for the white screen to disappear, I landed on the starter planet. Once Telemon gets done reciting the names of the exosuit tech, you find your way back to the starship, where you're greeted by an echo of your former traveler self before the traveler soul fragmented. Then you must go and gather all the components in order to get all of the seeds for each traveler fragment in order to repair your starship. This part took me 30 minutes because there was no copper deposits nearby, so I needed to scour around for rocks that contained chromatic metal within them in order to craft one of the seeds. So that was very annoying, but I don't think most people had that problem. As you can see here, I'm just searching for the copper deposits with my analysis visor. A complaint I have heard often about this expedition is that the griefing is extra bad, and if that is a problem, you should really just turn off multiplayer. It isn't that hard. This first starship repair milestone isn't that bad, and it's expected if you're gonna play an expedition. So I'd say the expedition is pretty average right now, but it hasn't had much time, so I'd say this is a pretty average start. But then you see the hive of glass in the sky after repairing your starship, and this is where the expedition starts to get good as you head out into space to confront it. Also, you discover that this expedition takes place in the Euclid Galaxy. Then it vanishes away and it sends some swarmers to you. Part 2, Phase 2. After talking to Polo about this swarm, you proceed to try to salvage a wreck of a fallen swarmer, and once you dismantle the wreckage, some sentinel drones that look slightly different come popping out and start attacking you. Honestly, I really do not mind these being reskin sentinels, since all the expeditions where you're required to fight sentinels in their normal form, like liquidators for example, have been pretty good expeditions. I really like how there's combat in this expedition. This is a very combat-oriented expedition, and I really like when those expeditions happen. We haven't really had a combat-oriented expedition since Liquidators. Then, once you finally dismantle the Fallen Swarmer, it directs you towards an Atlas station. Now, this is where the expedition gets extremely good. You talk to the Atlas station for a bit, and it warns you that the Hive of Glass is coming. This creates a really suspenseful moment as you prepare to step into your starship and face the Hive of Glass that you first saw over the skies of the planet that you started on. And then you finally go out and confront the Hive of Glass. It looks like it's gonna be a pretty run-of-the-mill pirate dreadnought-like combat mission. And then it just releases a huge volley of lasers, and you realize how dangerous this Hive of Glass really is. Like, look at my starship's shield. It is draining. And then you figure out that you can't even damage it, and you're just left to see the Atlas integrity declining really fast. And there's nothing you can do about it, which is honestly a really nice change of pace from normal space combat. I tried destroying the core, I tried everything, but I could not stop the Hive of Glass's Death Star laser from firing at the Atlas. The fact that you are unable to damage the Hive of Glass really shows that this is going to be a dangerous enemy. Then you finally turn towards the Atlas station, and it explodes. Bye-bye, Atlas station. That sequence of events was epic. And then you have these weird question mark voice lines, and then, oh, you're just in whiteness now. It's almost like you died while trying to save the Atlas, and the white screen plays for like 30 seconds. Of course, I'm not going to show the white screen for 30 seconds, but I was just in awe as this played out. Like this, there was really nothing like this in No Man's Sky before. Then I'm warped onto a planet for like a split second before suddenly the portal animation starts playing, warping you to another place. After the portal warping you for a while, you finally face the same personality quest again, like it started over. And I don't really know how I describe this or how it makes the expedition better, but it really just does. I don't really understand the implications, but it's really cool. And then you begin the reinitialization, and you're on a frozen world this time, and you then look up and discover that you just survived the world of glass. I thought we would never be able to go there. I thought it would always remain just a place in the No Man's Sky lore. But they let us go here inside of the expedition, and that was definitely my favorite part. I loved that, especially as someone who really likes the No Man's Sky lore. I thought that was really awesome. Phase 2 was this expedition at its full potential, and I was really loving it. But that awesome streak came to a close soon. Part 3, Phase 3. Phase 3 introduces the prismatic core, which is the device that will help you defeat the Hive of Glass. But it's not finished. All 3 teams must band together in order to help complete the prismatic core. So we entered into a nice, fun community milestone. At least that's what we thought. This took an entire month to complete, probably even more. And it was just the same 3 missions over and over again. They could have at least rotated each mission every week, but no, this might be one of the worst milestones in Expedition history. Fortunately, every single other milestone was pretty good, so I'd say this still is an S tier expedition, but that one milestone did ruin the expedition for a lot of people. So then you were sent out to different systems on a bunch of different missions, and the Hive of Glass was already there, and it got pretty repetitive. But fortunately, you're able to play on your primary save while you wait for the community milestone to be done, which made it not that bad in my opinion. Like, you could literally just quit out of the expedition and wait if you weren't having fun. I don't think this community milestone was a big deal. It was pretty bad and definitely the low point of the expedition. However, once it was finally done, the rest of the expedition was awesome. I don't have gameplay footage for the final few milestones, but basically you talk to Polo, you would get the device that linked your starship to the prismatic core so you could damage the Hive of Glass, and then you track down the Hive of Glass and you would attempt to destroy it. It was actually a pretty tough fight because I had exhausted all my sodium, so I actually couldn't recharge my shields, and my shields were actually down for most of the fight as I frantically destroyed the laser beams. And then the Hive of Glass exploded, and oh, was I glad it was over. That was a really good ending that was just kind of ruined by the countermeasures milestone. But I personally think that this expedition was an S tier expedition, and now that it's over, I can finally rank every expedition, so please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're interested in seeing that. This expedition may not be liked by most of the community, but I'm pretty sure that in a few years they'll come back to it and think about it as one of the better expeditions. I hope that happens because this is probably the most underrated expedition as of recording. If you think I am wrong and that I should never make a video again, please make sure to let me know down in the comments, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Peace.